Flyover State film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Let's do some quirky stuff in the beginning that we're gonna pretend to cut.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
We're so natural. We're actually gonna leave this
Oh,
in.
this cup of coffee is so strong.
Shut up, celebration. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
All right, boys.
This film,
Clink.
2022. Here's boys. And as usual, I'm here with my 3 lovable co-hosts, Brian, Joe, Yusef, and guys, I mean...
Why was I saved for last?
What's that?
Why was I saved for last?
Because you're the most colorful person we have on this crew. But I was going to say, like, there's no other way I'd like to start the new year off than to celebrate some deaths. Some long...
Ooh, yeah. Just really revel in her.
This must be hard. This must have been really hard for the type of person who's like, oh, 2021, just go already. I'm ready for something new. And then in the first week, 4 major deaths of 2020. Just...
Dinky Daffy Dump. Pancake by dump truck.
I don't want to categorize lives, but like the most important, Betty White. Right?
Oh, yeah. By far.
I think she's the most, like, yeah, she's 99, but like she trended on Twitter for like years, every other month and every other time you were like, not today, not this time, and it wouldn't be.
I'm not ready for this.
And then,
I mean, just because she bucked the trend of the Golden Girls, like they died a year in sequence, and suddenly she was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna exist for 12 more years after this."
Well, and seriously,
or 13
it's like the 3 of them, the other 3 died 1, 2, 3, like within 3 years of each other, and then all of America was like, "Holy shit, we're down to 1 Golden Girl!" Like all of a sudden they panicked. It's like they just like we were just flushed with Golden Girls for so long, and then like that it was literally right after that that like everything was like put her on SNL, like her whole career resurgence. That's the thing about Betty White. She had like 4 career resurgences.
Yeah.
She like
she lasted
Golden Girls was a career resurgence for her.
I feel like her and Jane Fonda could go blow to blows with the resurgences that they've had in their careers.
That's a good comparison. I watched that week The Proposal because I own that one, and like that was like her first like, oh yeah, she's hysterical. She's saying some like I think she's dancing to the wall, to the window, to the wall. With Sandra Bullock in that movie, it was like she's kind of dirty, you know, and then that spiraled Betty White's like career life being on SNL.
I feel like
I remember Lake Placid was the first one where she popped up.
Oh
she was like the sassy grandma, and you're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I love hearing Betty White say, "If I had a dick, I'd tell you to suck it." That's incredible.
Yusef, you had to watch that right for the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, and that was like the only highlight of the entire watch.
Her and Oliver Platt just
yeah.
But
I feel like her comedy really evolved. Like obviously she became like this very raunchy old lady archetype, but in Golden Girls she like her one-liners, like not acting, but she was pretty dumb-ish. But like the things that she said, like offhandedly, were easily the most funniest things of that entire series.
her comic timing is so
Yeah.
good. That's why, like,
impeccable.
later when she popped up on the like the William Shatner roast and stuff, you could just, a writer could just hand her a script of like funny shit to say, and just you could count on her to just destroy. You didn't have to worry about like coaching her through it or whatever. And actually, it's like she played the kind of innocent dumb one on Golden Girls, but that was already playing off her previous role where she was like the sex pot on Mary Tyler Moore. Like that's why she was actually up for Blanche on Golden Girls, and then they flipped it and made Rue McClanahan Blanche and made her Rose.
I'm glad we have such an old boomer in our group to like bestow this like wisdom. I'm like, oh, I
would love to be like, I would love to be one of those things like, no, we watch it together, and I'm glad. Like, I grew up with it kind of, but I had gotten away. Then when me and Sarah got married, and she bought all that. When I'm collecting DVDs, I was happy to buy whatever she wanted to like help her, to keep my obsession afloat and make it seem like she was part of it, So if she wanted to get those seasons of Golden Girls, you better believe it. And let me tell you, she watches the shit out of it.
Very good.
So
Close up Tuesday.
Actually, it's gonna leave Netflix today because that sucks. There's a really good documentary made in 2018 called Betty White, First Lady of Television.
Yeah.
Really just kind and insightful of like her life and career, and like, it hasn't changed that much since 2018. So like, give that a watch. And she's alive when they did it, so it's much better.
Also, 99 years. That's enough.
That's enough.
Oh, right? More than enough. Oh, no.
And somebody that was also enough, Sidney Poitier, with 94 years of age, a fellow
I don't know, man. All these noctogenarians are dying off, and it's pretty suspicious to me.
I'm sorry, but you know what's fucking morbid? I looked up Betty White documentary because I want to get the name right, and it's like Betty White, a celebration. The first line is Betty White, a celebration, originally titled Betty White, 100 Years Young, a birthday celebration. It's like
they were already planning her 100th because she was like 8 days away from her 100th birthday or something.
Yeah, dude.
She was like, fuck it.
In fact, I think the People magazine that was like Happy 100th Birthday Betty White was already out. It's like you can go out and buy it.
Yeah, you could. You go to People and it was like, oh, it's a birthday.
Oh, it's like a Beanie Baby, man. If you got that, save that shit.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be valuable.
Reprint. Sorry, but who was the next?
We're talking about Sidney Poitier. He's 94 years old. Oscar
legend,
winner.
Yes, I remember that I as a child I met him, and I was cinematically speaking in the Jackal. No, the Jackal.
Oh, the Bruce Willis movie, The Jackal.
Yeah, he's like the one that draws in Richard Gere to hunt down Bruce Willis, and I used to fucking love that movie. And then I obviously, like, when I became a film review, a very prestigious film reviewer, I started like exploring all his old movies, and people would send me screeners of his. I'm kidding. I started like rewatching like all his old shit. Like
you're a big Ghost Dad fan.
No, who's coming to dinner, right? In the Heat of the Night, and
that's the one I watched the other night. In the Heat of the Night, I was only really familiar. The only Sidney Poitier movie I own is Sneakers, which is a great movie and everything. But so we watched In the Heat of the Night, which my wife didn't even know was not just a show. She didn't realize they have spawned from a movie. She thought it was just a TV show. I was like, oh no, the movie came first.
I didn't realize.
Susan, I
didn't realize.
Watch Night School, Raisin in the Sun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't realize we had to all read Raisin in the Sun too. I didn't realize he directed Stir Crazy in the 70s.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder.
That's one of like the first. Is that the first time they joined together? Those two? Is it Stir Crazy, or is it like Inside of the Run?
I think it's Inside of the Run, but I will get back to you on that.
Yeah, Google it, please. But another one that
Jamie,
died pretty old. He had a good life. Was Peter?
Yeah, 94 years. Like I said, as somebody who works in the medical profession and sees lots of old people, anyone over the age of 90 is a walking corpse. Yeah. Like they long for death.
What about Peter I'm gonna mess up his name. Somebody else.
Bogdanovich. Peter Bogdanovich.
Yes. How old was he? He was in
famed director in his own right. Oscar winner for Paper Moon. Is that right?
Stir Crazy started
started the run, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian.
But anyway,
Peter,
a lot of people of our
Peter,
generation
Peter
know
with
him as the Melfi's therapist from The Sopranos.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. He just is just one of those dudes that show up in every red carpet, or like he's mentioned in a lot of interviews. He's like one of those names that just people name drop all the time. Like the directors would just mention him offhand, like, "Oh yes, I was a very big fan
Well, he
of
was
this
like
guy."
part of that kind of auteur director
Yeah.
scene in the 70s. I just don't think he kept on being as big of a name as some of his peers at the time. Also, like I said, also had a close connection with Orson Welles, and that was like a big part of his persona for like in the 60s and 70s. I think was kind of like
being friends of the guy,
hanging
that
out with
made the best
him
movie.
and writing his biography and whatnot.
Dope.
And let's move on to a sad one, because sad in the sense that he was actually very young. In comparison,
comparatively quite young. Yeah, absolutely.
Bobby Saget, from Funniest Home Videos, Full House, and Very Very Dirty stand-up comedy that I really enjoy.
Yeah, and one thing that's been sending out to me, I've been thinking for a couple of days. I saw someone share, was like, "Oh, when I pass, I hope people say like, oh, what they said about Bob Saget and Sidney Poitier and Betty White is like, oh, they were so kind, and then else." Because like, you watch these videos and everything, and you hear all these stories about Bob Saget, especially, and it's like, yeah, everyone knows he's the raunchy comedy. He's not like his Full House character, but he also seemed like super, super nice and like just like happy to be.
Seemed like a genuinely nice guy. Seemed very like helpful to up and coming comics and like supportive of young comics and stuff, and not like making him watch him jerk off or anything like that.
I just watched a clip. I just watched a Bob Saget clip of him talking, and he subtly was like, "Yeah, and playing a gay dad and playing a gay dad raising 3 daughters." And the person next to him, I think it was like Cloris Leachman or someone, was like, "He was gay." He was like, "Well, he's living in San Francisco with 2 men." Like,
I mean, I would be gay for Jesse.
Absolutely. I mean, like, you're in a house with Uncle Jesse and his mullet, like that's sign me up, man.
It's kind of hard to argue with that.
I know Brian, all of us. I was almost going to suggest we pivot this week's episode and just chose Dirty Work a couple days ago, but
yeah, that is a classic. I mean,
we can't do that to TJ and his dinosaur.
No, we can't.
No, we should have did that, TJ.
I thought about it.
Spoilers, I fell asleep 3 times watching this movie. Like, I had to.
I had to do this one in shifts.
I had to rewind it multiple times.
Is there any other news besides grim death we wanted to discuss?
Yeah, what else is there?
Joe kind of suggested like talking broadly in terms of what's happening to Pixar under the branch of Disney, and how all their movies are just essentially being straight to streaming.
To be fair, all their originals, if they do a sequel to one of their previous hits, Disney will be happy to put that out in the theater.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. It was kind of like popping up on the radar, and it seemed important enough where like possibly it's like Pixar is their premier brand. They keep making.
Well, I feel like it
prestige,
used to be their premier brand. Yeah.
Prestige animated films, right? Like you go to see what's the new one, Encanto, and
but that's a Disney animated, right? That's not a Pixar.
Lucas. Sorry, yeah, you go to see Lucas. I know I'm going to go see something special compared if I go to see like
DreamWorks.
With someone on DreamWorks or
Rise of Gru or whatever.
Sing 2, like, and not saying they're bad, but it sounds like they're using that Pixar brand right now instead of giving these animators and the audience the theater experience, or at least that option. Even they're saying, you know what, we just know this is driving Disney Plus sales, let alone because our streaming shows I think are starting to plateau a little bit, right? Like everyone who's interested in something Star Wars,
well, Brian doesn't give a fuck,
is already subscribing, or everyone that's interested in a Marvel is already subscribing to Disney Plus. I mean, I use Brian's Disney Plus, so
I use my sister-in-law's. But yeah, I feel like it was pretty obvious that it was going to happen in some sense. I didn't expect it to be Pixar per se, but when you own more than 50% of the box office and you're essentially just eating yourself in the competition, you'll essentially want to shift your market into like, hey, let me at least use this branch of our business to drive streamings. So they pretty much sacrificing Pixar into the streaming world.
I don't think. I mean, I think Encanto's doing okay, but it didn't perform like they wanted it to, and I think they're just like looking at their bottom line. Like, is this worth putting out in the theaters? It's going to make money, or should we try to use it to boost streaming instead? You know,
I think they're boost streaming. I mean, on top.
My cat won't shut the fuck up, guys.
Yeah, the cat is like very loud.
The cat is like in that room. He wants to be part of it.
The film.
He's like he has a lot of opinions about Disney and Disney Plus.
But like that's what Encanto could have used to have a house, like an actual like animal pet, or like what Disney does. Like the normal building blocks of these movies is like Encanto's logo was thrown out there. Yes, has some.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it had a very good marketing campaign. Encanto felt like I heard about it and they're like, oh, by the way, here it comes. It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like they did the same thing to Luca as well. Like, I feel like they've sacrificed the last 2 years. They're like, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to do Marvel and a few Disney big ones, and the rest can go fuck itself.
Like, at this point, can Pixar just release that unproduced movie that they had about the freaking, like the geckos or something? Like there's a famous unproduced, like almost finished, like Pixar movie. I forget the name of it.
Oh, she knows the name. What's the name?
Yeah, she knows what's.
No,
what's the name?
But anyway, so in 2021, we got some of these releases. Brian, you care to?
Oh, we're talking about 2021 stuff.
Yeah.
Just like in general. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about some things. Just some movies I had some fun with, some shows that came out. Definitely here at the end of the year, we had wrapped up some really good shows. Pen 15 had its third and final season. That's a really great show. F is for Family had its last season. You know, I kind of feel like, I don't know, adult animation is one of those things you kind of like either stick with forever or grow out of. And I have been kind of gotten away from it for the most part, but I did like F is for Family.
Do you wanna break it up into, let's talk about a few movies that we liked and then a few shows, or you wanna start with the shows? Let's see where it is.
Whatever. I mean, Brian,
I've been already talking about shows, I guess.
Yeah,
so let's do shows.
Let's add on to that and say Invincible.
I haven't seen that. I only seen the first 2 seasons of F is for Family, so I kind of fell off.
Yeah, I fell off F is for Family too. I didn't even know that was done.
It's up to its 5th season, and this is going to be its last one. But it was pretty good. It's a pretty good show.
Bill. Good for Bill Burr.
Billy Boy.
But Invincible.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Like
so good.
That was the one show I think at the end of the year. I mean, I don't watch much television shows, but that one blew me away. That was Brian's recommendation.
Good. Yeah. Based on an excellent comic and the show. Hey, I didn't bring up Chucky. Oh, by the way, Chucky's really good, everybody.
I didn't finish it. I kind of stopped watching it.
Oh, I love it. Chucky, I said it yesterday when I recorded Child's Play because I had explained the whole franchise. Chucky has the same thing Cobra Kai has right now, where if they weren't like in their respective franchises, they would just be like CW, ABC Family teen dramas.
No.
Yeah, that's probably true. The IP is whole. Yeah. Although not everybody's. I don't want to spoil anything because I don't know how far anybody is, but I think this season of Cobra Kai was a lot stronger than the last season.
That's not.
I haven't watched it.
I just mean like I just meant like Cobra Kai is a CW drama around that property and fighting and like the same melodrama. Chucky is like, hey, y'all teenage girls, you like Pretty Little Liars, but now we have Chucky and we're gonna get weird. It's the same writing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. I would agree with that. I would agree with it. There's room for that level of schlock in my life.
And that's not an insult. I'm like,
no, it is, because CW makes trash shows.
Hey, they're not going to be
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but they're not a network anymore.
Yeah, I know. I bought them for $75. I own the whole thing.
Didn't they come out this week and say they haven't not made $1 since 2006 since they became a network? And it's like, what?
It seems
You're
like
What
the
the? What are
You're
you
the whole-
doing, right? How are
Well,
you
then don't
managing
put out
your
20
finances?
seasons of Supernatural. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you have the whole Arrowverse and Supernatural and like fucking below comic.
Like, think about the merchandise alone on those shitty shows. Like,
Oh
they
my
should have.
god, yeah. How much Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow shit have you
made
seen? Like,
Anyway, I thought that was ridiculous.
I liked sticking to TV shows. I liked White Lotus. I know that everybody was like jerking off to that
forgot about
I did
series
not watch
online.
that.
It was very
But New Curve,
funny,
we had New Curve.
That
very
was a great
upbeat, very
season.
funny. It's good. Recommend it.
But
What We
Oh,
Do in the
Blue Bloods.
Shadows, new season was super fun, super good.
They experimented a little bit too, which is good. The Atlantic City episode of What We Do in the Shadows is an all-timer.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Did anyone else watch MacGruber?
I started to, Brian. I got like 2 or so episodes in.
Well,
Like,
Joe, luckily I got in under the wire before you let your Peacock subscription lapse.
I will
So-
I will renew it.
No, it's all right. You don't have to. It's just that I was like, I went to go.
So for
I
the
went to-
listener,
I went to
That's
settle
fair.
into some fan episodes of
you're-
The Office, the extended ones.
I-
My wife literally tried to hit play today,
Babe.
and it didn't play, and she was like,
use,
"Oh."
I use your Disney Plus. I will renew my Peacock. I literally
I think I use like. I don't have to renew anything. It's okay.
I lost my debit card, so when I kept getting those notifications of like you must renew, it made me see what I've been subscribing to, and that was one of I didn't. And then that was like a couple weeks ago. Guess who found that old fucking debit card hidden in the drunk slot of my dad wallet? You know,
Nice.
the dad wallet. I was going through it, and that fucking debit card is right here.
I'll try to blare out any numbers that appear.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to screenshot that. Hold on.
It's
I'll send it to you.
It's
do it again.
It's on. There was no numbers. It's the front. It's just the flag. So people think I'm all like make America.
What about you,
Yeah.
T? Are you gonna recommend that shitty season of Dexter?
I mean, no.
No, because
well,
I see you talking shit online all the time. Do you want to talk shit now here?
No, I think the season of Dexter is pretty good. What I've seen so far.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, TJ.
No problem,
Thank you
guys.
for the contribution.
What input? Thanks, buddy.
So movies though. I'm gonna start this one off and
I have a lot of movies.
I'm just gonna do a shameless Flyover State of Fear plug. Wrong Turn. I think when I was looking at the end of the year, what I really liked that no one like talked about too much is the Wrong Turn remake. I'm not too familiar with the originals, but that remake fucking ruled. I know Brian, I think, introduced me to
Loved
the
it.
remake.
It's
You
really
sent
good.
it to me. I think you sent it to me. I haven't watched it yet, but I really do want to watch it.
Yeah, I have the digital code, I think, still. I think he gave it to you. That's excellent.
Yeah, it was good.
Just really, if no one told you this had been a movie before, you'd be completely like, oh, okay, just another like Hicks in the Woods tormenting a dog, like a kid.
Classic.
Or a girl. But like it has so much more to it.
That's definitely what the original Wrong Turn is.
A good old
this is a little more
good old family
cultish.
movie.
And then just while I'm still talking, in the horror Candyman, I think that's obvious.
Yeah.
That was excellent. At some point, we'll be doing a digital giveaway on Fear for that as well.
Snap.
And then my other two, I'm not going to go much more on. To get artsy, Pig and the Green Knight.
The Green Knight!
I still have not gotten to see The Green Knight.
I fucking love The Green Knight.
Green Knight was fantastic. It was the first movie. No, I'm sorry. It was the second movie I saw back in the theater.
Huh?
What? I said the second movie I saw back in the theater was The Green Knight. The first was Spiral, the Book of Saul.
I think The Green Knight was actually the first one that I saw when it came. No, yes. It was the first one. It's such. I mean, that dude is on fire.
Is Ben Affleck that good in that movie?
No, that's The Last Duel. That's the last Shin strap. The Green Knight is so fucking good, dude. Like, obviously the CGI is kind of shitty, and there's some moments that you go like, oh, what the fuck? But the overall movie itself.
Yeah, pay attention. Amazon was running sales for it like all through the holiday seasons for like $7 or $8 for the Blu-ray. Just keep an eye out. They still might be doing that.
I'm gonna Google. TJ, you wanna say some movies you like?
Have I seen anything this year?
It's $17 right now from $40.
Oh,
That was cool.
oh, I bought it. Yeah.
Nice.
Suicide Squad. Are you excited for? Are you gonna watch the show?
No.
No.
Peacemaker.
What about the Suicide Squad?
What else is good? Did I see? I seen. Yep, didn't really see anything this year.
All right, cool.
All right, cool,
So
great.
Suicide Squad, it was okay. It was good. I really love Starro though. That was my shit. I wish more big monsters, big colorful monsters.
Yeah, it was
more
nice to
big
not have
colorful monsters.
a beam, just a death beam in the sky.
I love how he ends up being a victim too, though. Like and just like classic
It's impressive.
DC, like Amanda Waller's the actual villain. Kind of like pull off. I will be watching Peacemaker. I think that looks like a lot of fun.
Dune was tight. Dune was pretty tight.
Oh, Dune,
Dune,
yeah.
I still gotta see
Dune.
Dune.
I think me and Yusuf both like Matrix. We like Matrix a lot.
Yeah,
enjoyed the
Matrix
Matrix
slap.
Resurrection.
Like I took it for like this campy, over the top, meta, fun, fuck up movie, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
When I liked it, it was like a smaller, more focused movie than it felt more like The Matrix. It was like a smaller story, even though it encompassed a lot of crazy big shit, big ideas. It still felt like I don't know. I
really
enjoyed
didn't.
And people that didn't pay attention to Neo's arc of falling in love with Trinity and basically sacrificing everything for her, and now in the fourth are going like, wait, this is a romance movie? Like, yeah,
no, The Matrix
dumbass.
is a love story, I guess.
Yeah, the entire fucking series they've been doing this. What, like, you've been paying attention?
I didn't like when they went to the new Zion. And
You
he
didn't
just
like
had
that
that
city?
sit down.
That was the biggest flaw in Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I had my problems with it, but like, it wasn't that. It was a love story. It was just like I laughed at the end when they flew away together. That I was like, nah, I'm fine.
And literally like the first one. I liked the Mitchells versus the Machines. That was pretty early on in this. That was a fun one. They had a pug, so they won me over instantly.
Did anybody see Kurt Warner's movie?
Did that get released?
Yeah, on Christmas Day, dude. It was huge.
It went straight to that Christian channel.
I was saying straight to Pure Flix, right?
Well, guys, I gotta go because I kind of want to watch this one.
I want to watch that and the Kevin James one back to back.
It sounds
hysterical. The Kevin James
That's a
one.
flyby right there.
Yeah.
I want to recommend two indies. One is Together at Helms, and I forget her name. She's in
Patty Harrison.
Patty Harris's from I Think You Should Leave. Also, I Think You Should Leave. We forgot to mention it in the TV round.
Oh,
amazing.
I Think You Should Leave. I'm really worried they have not announced a third season. I feel like we're not going to get another one.
They waited a while to announce season 2 too, as well.
No, season 2 got announced right away when
Did
season 1 came out. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
it was really close.
And the other one that I recommend, I think, is in HBO Max. I started watching this movie with my wife, and when we ended it, she's like, "This is the best horror movie I've ever seen in my life," and it's not a horror movie at all. It's called Sheba Baby, and it's about a Jewish woman in a funeral, she's just dealing with the man that she's sleeping with and his wife and her ex.
It's like social anxiety, movie, right?
It's like pure social anxiety trapped in a room with everybody trying to figure out what the fuck she's doing with her life.
Oh, it sounds
and my wife was like next to me. It's like, what the fuck is this movie? So yeah, I recommend that movie. And In the Heights, I like In the Heights. I know nobody liked it, but I loved it. because
you liked it. I just
a little
real
bit
quick,
biased.
So much Lin-Manuel content this year. Jesus.
Yeah, he should start saying no, or maybe do something strictly
He should
Puerto.
have stop being so fucking smug all the time. Like he's so full of himself, dude. You're not that funny.
Yeah, he's.
Like he's definitely his character of himself from that season of Curb. Like that's just him.
Yeah, it does feel like a very realistic interpretation.
But real quick, I do want to mention.
I really want to rewatch the entire Curb.
I did
the
that
whole
this year.
now that the whole season's out, I want to watch that again too.
I watched
absolutely.
all of Curb from season 1 and Seinfeld, and it was like just a perfect like when you're done with one, go to the other. That same
goddamn Seinfeld's so fucking good. It's been on not like a loop ever since it came to Netflix. It's like all I watch. It's just on.
I want to just mention real quick while we're talking about 2021, and hopefully we could put a wrap on that year because it's not that great of a year of movie. Let's be honest. You're gonna see some tweets of like this was an incredible year. There's some good movies, but like the year itself.
No, 2021 it's every year.
The year itself was like 2005.
Godzilla vs Kong came out.
Oh, that was good.
And from there it was all downhill.
Fun. But what I want to mention is the fucking worst of the worst, and that is, it's not Space Jam 2, but that will get all the glory when people talk about the worst of the worst. It's Dear Evan Hansen. I have never laughed and seen such a bad fucking movie in my life. Like
I will give
the idea, like the weird vanity project aspect of it is like makes it even like, you know what I mean? It takes it to that next level of bad movie.
There's so many things going on in that movie that like, and I'm not familiar with the play at all. So I was like, what? Why? And it's not.
I haven't watched it, but I
you don't have to watch it. Just watch Jenny Nicholson's video.
That's what I was gonna say. I watched that.
Oh, she made a video. Oh,
I was so entertained.
You're good. There's like literally a part, especially too, that like Ben Platt convincing the girl A to date him and B that he's straight, even as Evan Hansen. And he's just playing an offensive character who's autistic. Like that's how he's playing it. Oh, fucking hate that movie.
I do want to give a hot take in terms of the worst movie, and that is Spencer, the Princess Diane movie.
Oh, the Princess Diane movie. I think you're the only person I know who's even seen it.
Yeah.
The best movie made that is also a horrible, shitty movie. Like it's so well made, but it's such a
like the
bad
production is very beautiful.
So beautiful.
Shit, yeah.
So it's just like the guy's other movie that made Jackie.
Yeah.
Like that movie was not very good, but it was just like beautiful.
I mean, I had a tweet about it, like, oh, this guy is not for me. And Brian is like, who the fuck is that guy? And I was like, I listed all his movies, and it was Jackie, it was Spencer, No, and there was a bunch of other ones that were like
great performances out of them. Like, you know, she's probably gonna win Best Actress.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have to. But I remember Jackie being like that. I was like, wow, Natalie Portman, you're amazing at this acting thing.
But the movies are like so flat.
Yeah.
Lifeless, flat, uninteresting, and there's sequences in each of his movies that you go like, the fuck? Why is this happening?
The Spike Lee Steadicam that follows them through like the most dramatic scene.
Yeah.
Spike does it better. Anyway, if anyone has
let's play a game.
Yeah, let's play a game.
No, I didn't even get to give my movies, you fuckers.
Oh, I thought you were dumping movies throughout.
Yeah.
No, I did not. I did not sprinkle movies throughout.
Yeah, you said Godzilla, you said Matrix, you said a bunch of other movies.
Oh, I said Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla.
Godzilla was great. No, there's a movie on Netflix that I wanted to suggest for the Cobra Kai fans out there called Paper Tigers. If you like your old man karate and you like crappy dads getting a second chance, that's a good one. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Oh, that was this year. That
fucking the comedy of the year. It's like Austin Powers for ladies. It's fucking incredible. It's so funny. Jamie Dornan, like that movie will now make me seek out more Jamie Dornan movies. I'm like, this dude is committed. I will
His solo
song. It's the best song. As I said, I think I tweeted when I was watching it again. I was like, this is the song of 2021 right here. This is a banger.
If you think Jamie Dornan was just bad because of 50 Shades of Grey, absolutely not. Like yeah. Oh, good call.
Movie he's in.
Also, Werewolves
Uh,
Within was another one I really
I
liked
haven't
this
seen
year.
that one yet.
I loved Werewolves Within.
Yeah,
That was
Werewolves
my
Within, a
top
lot of
tier.
fun little
Another,
kind of
I think you should
mystery
leave alone.
whodunit comedy. Another great one that was on Netflix that I actually have two here. The Harder They Fall was a great western. that
Oh,
came
I
out.
forgot about it. Yes, I
Yeah.
fucking love that movie.
Oh, I'm so glad we let
good.
Brian talk.
It felt like it felt like one of the, like a remake, like when you hear a song that's a remake that's better than the original, like, you know, and I'm watching, it's like it felt like they took a really fresh spin on old western tropes, and like there was never a time,
a good cast too.
there's never a time I was watching it that I didn't kind of know where it was going, but you're totally fine, that's absolutely fine, you know.
I fucking loved Sassy Beats and Regina King fight, like, because that's such a trope of action movies, like
to have them make the
like
two female characters fight each other. Yeah.
So
and then there's another Netflix movie that I watched. I don't know if anybody's seen. I think it's, I don't know if it's Norwegian, Scandinavian. It's called The Trip. It's got Noomi Rapace in it. Her and her husband are basically like on this trip, and they're kind of both planning to kill each other. They're in like a strained marriage, and they're both kind of like planning to maybe kill each other, or at least like you're not sure. And then they get like kidnapped by some criminals, and they like a break-in happens, so then they're like kind of forced to deal with their own shit. And it was a really entertaining one. I kind of forgotten about it, but I was flipping through my like now watchings from the last couple of months, trying to like look for something, and it was good though.
I've been missing Noomi Rapace. I know we talked about it a couple of months ago. Like she's in that movie Lamb. I haven't
got to see Lamb yet.
Yeah, would like to though. I heard it's just weird, you know.
And then real quick, just to mix it up, let me recommend real fast. There's two documentaries on Disney Plus. They're both like 60s, 70s ocean documentaries. One is called Playing with Sharks. It's about this woman, Valerie Taylor, who was like one of the earliest kind of shark conservationists who kind of got a lot of attention because she was a woman doing like scuba diving and shit when that wasn't a thing. And then there's a great one about Jacques Cousteau too, called Becoming Cousteau. And so if like you like that kind of old, you know, documentary aesthetic, if you're a fan of like Wes Anderson's Steve Zissou, you know, Life Aquatic, and you want to get that kind of vibe, which I am, it's a lot of, I don't know, for something different. If you're looking for something different, not our usual
not
fare.
just the usual recommendations.
Or 90 Day Fiance or Selling Sunset, also TV shows that I've been watching.
Listen,
huh?
What is
Queer Eye is the best.
Oh, Queer Eye, yes.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
Austin.
I legit, like, I know like a lot of people tweet like, oh my god, I've never cried so much in this movie or whatever, and they actually didn't cry. Like, I legit bawled my fucking eyes out watching the episode of the guy that is keeping the restaurant alive in the memory of his wife, and he's like bawling and I'm like,
sandals.
yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I crying?
I don't watch shows to feel feelings. That's not
I was crying at all.
Thank you.
We just watched all of As Told by Ginger, the old Nickelodeon cartoon, and I was crying by the end of it too because it's phenomenal. So I get it, man. I get it. Beautiful show.
All right, let's put away feelings and play a game.
So speaking of As Told by Ginger, which I watched with my wife, for Christmas, she bought the Fly Boys a game. We're not going to play it exactly, but it's called Pitch Storm. I'm sure we've all seen it in that Target shelf and went, no one's going to play that with me. So I'll play with you guys.
Yeah, you never play it with your friends. That's why I don't buy games. I see lots of cool games, and I'm like, I own games I don't play. What the fuck am I gonna do with this?
Especially the movie ones where they're like, oh, I don't care about it that much.
Yeah, it's like I need 4 like Jaws fanatics who are willing to like delve into a 2-hour Jaws board game with me. Like those people don't exist.
I have a really side tangent. I do have a great Simpsons trivia board game that they made accessible for like non-Simpsons fans to play. So they have trivia, but you could still advance even if you get like a few questions right or things. So having said that, Pitch Storm, the boys are going to pitch. I don't know how the game's played, but you're going to get 2 minutes to do this pitch. You're going to select a character card, or I'm going to select a character card for you, a plot, and and like a studio note, and then y'all will have to,
pitch a movie.
Pitch a movie.
Pitch me something.
So I put those back. I just opened it, so I don't know what's in here or what not. Let's start with. Let's go the order with Yusuf, Brian, TJ. I don't have anything to pick anyone. So Yusuf, I'm just going at random here. There's no method to my order. You are your character, a fraternity on the verge of suspension. That's your character.
The plot. That's the plot.
No, that's I guess
character.
That's what it says. I guess
you're a fraternity. That's wild.
a group of frat bros.
Okay, I guess
on the verge of suspension. The plot at random incites a rebellion in an oppressed insane asylum. So the frat has. I'm just. I guess you get a mulligan if you can come up with nothing.
I'm good. Can you read it again so I can write it down so I look at it?
Yeah. Okay. So.
Rebellion in a what?
An insane asylum.
In an insane asylum. Okay. And then the studio note. What if all the characters are played by animated fruits and vegetables?
Vegetable.
So I'll give you a minute to write that. Do you want a minute to write that, or do you just want to start pitching?
No, tell everybody else's, and then
go
ahead and pick
circle back.
All right,
Brian.
Brian, your character, whatever that vague description of a character is, an A-list Hollywood star on the edge of bankruptcy. Plot tries to capture a giant ape on a mysterious island.
Oh, that's just the plot of King Kong.
All right. And then our studio notes. Can you add a bunch of super adorable sidekicks like those little yellow minion guys?
Absolutely.
So, all right. And then TJ, best for last. Your character is a small mouse with a big heart.
Homeward Bound.
And then your plot becomes a vigilante to rid their city of crime.
Oh, goddamn, this one's better than mine.
That's a good movie.
And your studio note is, what if all the characters were trapped by a blizzard?
Okay.
So Yusuf, let me know when you're ready, and then I assume with your pitch that'll give these guys enough times to write. You have 2 minutes, and I have a timer going for each. So, ready now.
All right, guys. Thank you for taking a meeting with me. I have a very quick pitch for you guys. It's an animated movie. Well, I'm thinking because everybody's in this health focus nut type thing. We're just gonna do fruits and vegetables for the kids. That way, a kid can get it to eat broccoli based on our movie because everybody loves cannibalism. So, the quick plot. We're gonna base it on a college, because we're pushing for the kids' education. We want to be in universities. We want to, get a bachelor's degree. Everybody, so you can be crushed by student debt. Real cute, real fun. Fraternity bros are on the verge of being kicked out of the school because they incited a rebellion in an asylum. So all the crazy vegetables are loose in the city, and now our fruits. It's our fraternity. Don't read it too much into it. They're not
fraternity.
Yes. Thank you. I'll take all the students' notes. I'm very flexible with my pitch. And it's essentially like they'll get back into the university if they round up all the crazy vegetables around town. You have like this crazy asparagus taking over a mall, and they have to take him down. You'll have this crazy broccoli stuck in a sewer pipe, and they have to take him out of there. Like, it's just like cookie fun stuff for the kids. And we'll call it. I don't know what I'm gonna call it.
I have one.
Name TBD, guys.
Names
yes,
to be determined.
Yeah,
all right.
TBD.
You give extra points if you give me a name.
If I give you a name,
but
I'm just not good with puns.
Yeah, well, you could call it Escape on Fraternity. and
No,
play on
I don't like
State
it.
New York. And I also have one note. We need James Corden in this.
he'll be the voice of the stern headmaster of the headmaster of the universe.
Okay. I don't make the rules, but he's contractually him and Chris Pratt. They're contractually obligated to just unnervingly be in any property that you have. All right, great. Thank you for coming in, Yusuf.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Brian. So, what do you got for us today?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for seeing me. Thank you for letting me, gentlemen, today. I respect your work. You've all put out fine projects in the past. I'm happy to be working with you. I'm very proud to be on this team. So all the rage right now is like self-referential and meta and universe hopping and reality bending and also you want to milk all your IPs as much as you possibly can. So what I'm thinking is we got Jack Black, okay? He's playing as like down on his luck. It's like a fictionalized Curb Your Enthusiasm version. He hasn't gotten much work in a while. He's getting too fat. He's got too much stuff in his beard. He just doesn't have the same fire that he used to. He decides the way he's going to revive his career is by doing a reality show that's like a live action version of King Kong. 'Cause he was in the King Kong movie.
Yeah.
So he is going to like go on this reality show. What he doesn't realize is that like the kind of like they find a real Skull Island, of course, like the storm around this like ionized storm that like brews around Skull Island all the time actually has like magical like dimension hopping properties, and so all these other versions of quirky Jack Black characters start coming through and joining him on his adventure as he like goes to the island.
No way.
So now you have like Jack Black plus Orange, regular our hero Jack Black, Curb Your Enthusiasm version Jack Black, down on his luck. But you've also got like Orange County Jack Black and School of Rock Jack Black and like Shallow Hal Jack Black and the record movie Jack Black. They're all there and they're all doing their like very different, separate shit. Gulliver shows up. I don't know. Jack Black movies, right?
Okay.
In fact, that's the climax of the movie where the giant Gulliver shows up and then fights King Kong. I didn't mean to spoil it.
Nice.
But the Gulliver version of Jack Black shows up and fights King Kong at the end.
Great. And do you have a name? And
I do have a name. The name is Back in Jack.
Back in Jack. All right, great.
Hey guys, sorry to barge in. Can I give you my movie name?
Yeah, I'll still accept it.
The One Who Flew Over the Grapefruit Nest.
Okay.
That's terrible. No.
Thank you.
All right. So, One Flew Over the Grapefruit Nest. All right, a little heady, but you're not up. So Brian, I did not catch it if you had mentioned it. Does he have any sidekicks that go around with him? Any sort of
that's what I meant. I think the other Jack Blacks will be his will be his quirky sidekicks.
Now it's a non-starter.
I mean, I feel like they're not that cute though.
Now,
like the minions.
Now
you don't think Jack Black is cute?
Now,
as a minion, no.
Now,
he's adorable. He'll be himself.
Now, the Flyover State Studio needs, as I've said earlier, I need a James Corden Jack Black.
Ooh.
We're contractually obligated to have him as a Jack Black. It's
okay, all right.
If not, we don't have a picture.
He can have the Jumanji one.
He can do the motion capture for some animated character that Jack Black voices. How about that?
Okay. Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, there you go. Kung Fu Panda.
I'll accept
still have Jack Black do the voice, but Corden can do the motion capture. And that way we'll keep him in by contractually obligated Flyover.
I'll talk to his agents. We'll see what we can do. But I like where we're at. Back in Jack.
Well, don't tell him we're going to voice over him. We'll just do that later in post. We'll say there was a problem with the audio or something.
Okay. That's
Do him dirty like the Star Wars Darth Vader, that guy.
Kraus.
You know, Corden really has the studios by the balls. That's what. And now
everybody's just in James Corden's corner. All these studio execs just in his pocket.
All right, now TJ, what do you got for us?
I mean, mine's a little bit tougher than these.
I'm gonna start your pitch now.
So basically, what I'm saying, like this one, kind of based off nostalgia. So you're gonna get this guy walking through an airport. He has a big old stuffed bear in his arm. He's about to go through security and all that, but the camera just pans down to a little hole into the airport wall. There's a mouse walking around with a little baby mouse stuffed animal in his arm. And he's walking through the airport. He has no shoes on. He has to get on the plane, and they're like, he sits down next to another like fatter mouse. And he's like, if you just rub your paws on the carpet, you know what I mean? Like you just curl your toes on the carpet and stuff like that. Like, all I'm thinking of is like a mouse who's troublesome. He's been through some hard times. He wants to go see his family, but he gets stuck in a blizzard, unfortunately, at a Christmas party that his wife mouse is throwing. There's a big old blizzard. He's stuck in there. There's these mice coming in from a different country. Some call them terrorists, I guess. Like, I mean, if you had to find
they're
them,
rats, I imagine.
Yeah,
right?
They're rats. Yes,
They're
rats. They're big, dirty, stinky rats, and they're coming into this building. And they're kind of taking over, and they're like, "We're gonna own this party," and there's that one mice doing coke. You can call him a rat if you want, in like his wife's office and stuff like that. There's all these things going on. All he wants to do is get back to his family. So, on his own, he takes it upon himself to take on these rats, these terrorists, and fight against them in this movie. It's never actually been like seen before. Some people would argue, like, is it a Christmas movie? Is it just like an action movie? Do we get John McMice Tiernan to direct it? Hey, you guys get it? Yeah, that was good.
No,
yeah.
I don't get it.
All right. So what is your a few notes, but what is your mouse movie called?
Damn, that's hard.
Mice Hard?
Mice Hard, okay. Now, in Mice Hard, the $1 million question is, I need two things here. I need not a lead, but I do need an urban star to be in the film to do one of the mice voice, and I also need, once again, to incorporate James Corden.
Urban.
Yeah.
So so when the mice gets
is this pitch happening in the 1998, 95?
Yeah, I need some diversity. But we can't make them the lead.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Jaleel White,
obviously.
Jaleel White will be driving the mice limo. Okay.
Okay. What's his animal character? Or is it mice and humans?
It's just mice and humans. Yeah.
Okay.
Like rats.
So he's also a mouse, Jaleel White.
He's
mouse, right?
Yeah. He's
Okay.
Nick Cage is the lead. The lead mouse in this one is Nick Cage. You know what I mean? Obviously, who wouldn't be? John Travolta is playing the lead terrorist.
Okay.
All right. So now we're vibing. We'll get the
But
face off vibes now.
He took his own rat face off and replaced it with a mouse face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got you. So Mice Hard. I'll ask James if he's on board.
So with James Corden, we couldn't get him, so we decided to get what's his name? He did the Hamilton. No, the Hamilton play.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, okay. So you were gonna win, but now the project's been put on hold. No, but all seriousness,
no, James Corden's got to go.
James runs the studio, guys. Mr. Corden, as actually he's like to be called. I think I'm gonna get fired for that. But anyway, no, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for playing. TJ actually laughed. I think you had the funniest pitch, of it just being Die Hard.
Sorry,
Yusuf, you didn't have much trouble.
I'm
Yours
just thinking
was
about the
fun,
kids.
and I wish you had more puns in yours. I think you had a lot of
I'm
opportunity.
not a pun guy. That's Brian's only job in this entire endeavor.
Puns. So, and Brian's, yours was great, but I do have fear of getting all the rights to all the different Jack Blacks.
It's a lot of Jack Black.
So Edge goes to our main man EJ.
That was a dark ending to the game.
It was.
What?
But thanks for playing. We'll play it again sometimes because we got a whole brick of cards.
I'm looking forward to it, especially if we follow this shitty studio pitch format. Like everybody bought into it. Thank you for following my bad lead.
I didn't really take notes. They're just scribbles.
All right, so the game has ended, but it wasn't with a tonal shift or a very dark ending. But let's talk about movies that have tonal shift or dark endings. Transition.
What?
Wow. So, like Brian said, spoilers. The movie that we're gonna talk about later has a very fucking dark ending. And we wanted to talk about.
It does feel like a little bit comes out of nowhere. I feel like, you know.
And we wanted to talk about
the
not
whole
just necessarily. Sorry, what? What? I didn't hear you.
I said the whole movie just comes out.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, the not necessarily movies that have like specifically dark endings, but movies that maybe took a left turn towards the end, or is a very like the movie was very happy, very upbeat, and suddenly just became super depressing or super dark. Like, what are those movies that stood out in your head while we asked that question? And I wanted to like set like a mini example, and it's obviously like I have other picks, but this one I feel like is the best example for the tonal shifts, and it's obviously because it was like this. It was another movie completely, and they tacked on this ending out of nowhere. But 10 Cloverfield Lane, it's this like
absolutely
like this like mind thriller, like a very
like a tense kind of
tense,
like bottle
secluded,
movie,
bottle movie of this like man that pretty much kidnapped these two people, and he murders one, and the other one is trying to escape, and she escapes, and then suddenly, it's an alien movie.
Yeah, that one's so like reading about it too. How it's just like was just manipulated to be a to be a Cloverfield brand. I love that movie though. I mean,
I love it too. It's really good. Like it's 80% an A+ movie.
Yeah.
And then they tried to do it again with that. Do you guys remember like a year? Probably not even a full year.
Yes, talking about the Cloverfield paradox.
Paradox. That was called.
That one is
that movie
so bad.
Sucked. Though. That movie just sucked ass.
It was. They had a promo for it because their marketing. It was all marketing for that movie.
It's on the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
right?
it was the movie's dropping after the Super Bowl ends on Netflix. I remember I was so drunk after we had a Super Bowl party at our old apartment, and I put that movie on and got like 40 minutes into it, and I've never revisited it. Like,
yeah, it's just that's one of those things where like they tried to use the Cloverfield thing to save it, and it just it wasn't good.
But what are your picks? Like that was just like an example. That was my pick. But Joe, what's up with you?
I actually had one plug before I pick. Check out the Flyover episode of Arlington Road because that has
absolutely
just such a not just dark ending. I don't like it does not fit what movie you're watching of like. The good guy's gonna win. The bad guys.
Yeah. The tone is like, you're kind of like left with like kind of like, oh shit, damn.
And it's a very fun episode of our show.
And it is a good movie.
It was a good movie.
A solid thriller, the kind you don't get anymore.
Having said that, I have a few I put down, but I'm gonna go with the obvious one, or at least what I think is always the obvious one that people complain about, but I really like. The Gone Girl's ending.
Oh.
People think it's a tone shift of an ending, so I'm only going off of that. Because that was the big thing when it was released. Was like, what? That was a good movie. What the fuck was that ending? And I think it lines up perfectly with the movie because, spoiler alert, the movie's not about like the revenge of. It's just about shitty people getting what they both deserve. And the end of the movie is they both kind of get what they deserve, without just kind of being vague because. of it. But that would be my main one when anyone talks about endings that people have problems with. Because I not to call audience like main like not movie like talkers like us like dumb.
Here it comes.
But I agree.
But,
It
like-
fits. It fits in you. It fits in the category of the question because it does have like it's like this slow movie, and then suddenly like the Neil Patrick Harris scene happens, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And it
Yeah.
just goes
you
downhill from
well, and
there.
then,
Like, when
like-
you watch that movie, you think like there's gonna be a fight in the house, and he's gonna do her, and it's gonna be single white female like whatever ending.
When we talk about a dark ending, but a dark ending can mean a lot of things. And it's funny that you picked Gone Girl because the movie I was wanted to talk about also has this kind of. It's not necessarily like the darkness comes from like resigning to the fact of what your life is and kind of having to like live with what you've done and like what your life is going to be going forward, and also like the revelation of who you are and who the person you're with, who they really are, and like the darkness comes from that rather than from like the the actions at the end of the movie. It's like the way you're left feeling about it.
Sure.
Yep.
And I
That's a
feel
good
that
pick.
way about the movie I picked, which is one I just watched the other night, and I love it so much. It's a very, I don't know if it's underrated or underseen. It's a Sam Raimi movie. It's called A Simple Plan, starring Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton, Bridget Fonda. Great movie about guys who like find this money and the way it like changes them and affects them and their relationships. But I don't want to spoil the movie, but it leaves in that it ends in that same kind of way where like people are left with like just kind of to dwell in the decisions they made and what has been revealed about them as people from the circumstances of the movie. And it's not dark in the way like say The Mist has a dark ending.
Yeah.
But it's unsettling and it sits with you and you think back on it and what it would be like to be that that person and how they ended up and what they sacrificed and what they got from it, or whatever. It's
It's
I don't
the
know. I
type
really
of
like it.
movie. It's the type of movie that today I wouldn't argue that it wouldn't get made, but it would be the type of movie that would be like marketed like you won't expect the ending. Like and it's like, dude, why are we talking this way about it? Like just like promote it and just watch it and let
I
the
hate when
ending.
they try to promote the twist because, like, just by telling me there's a twist, you've already ruined it. Now I'm set up to like be expecting something. You know what I mean? Just let me experience the movie on its own merit.
Yeah.
What about you, TA?
I'll say for me, like I kind of answer this a little differently.
right,
but
Joe.
going back to like a movie that you're gonna fall asleep to, but like at least I have Brian and Yusuf here. You guys might have read the book, but when I saw the end of this movie, Return of the King, and like you go through the entire journey of Frodo, right? The entire thing, the very end, they have to take that ship, and he's basically chasing the high of the adventure. Like and it just ends for him. He has to go to another plane.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we were talking about too. Like he's just different. He can't come back to his old life with knowing what he knows of the world and of himself and of
like Sam's like they're on the rocks and like everything's coming down there and he's talking about like the smell and the sounds and like seeing her like dance and the guy he gets married to eventually and stuff like that. But like as Frodo, like as someone watching it, he's empty. There's no ending for him. He has to go on the ride, and you're like, does he die? Is it like? Because I didn't read the book. I don't really know too much about it so much.
I honestly don't remember that. Like it's been a while since I read it, but I feel like it's still a vague vague ending. But you kind of understand that he has to like.
Yeah. And Gandalf and
he may as well, whether it's death or not, it's essentially death. He's leaving. He's never coming back.
I've been meaning to revisit it, but I haven't revisited that book.
That whole ending for me, I'm just like, well, I think it's the best trilogy out there right now. But I'm like, I still don't. It sucks for me because I'm like, Frodo went through all this. He did everything for everybody. And he just has to go and sail off to ever his past. No.
That's actually a great pick. I wouldn't have thought about it that way in terms of like this question. That movie would have probably never crossed my mind.
Everybody surprised me with their answers. I thought I was gonna be the one with like a weirdo answer, and everybody was gonna be like,
it's not a straightforward question, right? Like, I think Brian said like the mist, right? That like that's an obvious like it's
the mist is the one that like that's like the shockingly horrific ending, you know.
What if Bruce Willis wasn't a ghost?
So I have a few picks, but keep it in tone with because I have two depressing ones.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna go with Swiss Army Man ending.
That's a great one.
And that ending is so fucking hard to watch because the entire movie you're like watching it and it gets to a point in the movie that you buy into the world and you're like, maybe this is magic, maybe this is real, this is
and if
reality.
Nothing else, you're rooting for Paul Dano. I think, like, you know what I mean, like you want him to be happy, you feel for him, you like, you know what I mean, despite the fact that he's hanging with a corpse, their friends or whatever.
And then suddenly that ending comes and it's such a gut punch. And it's so well acted. Like, Paul Dano is very underrated. I feel like he's very underrated in the sense that people just think of him as this creep. But the emotions that he displays in that ending, and then you get that, obviously like his mental state just completely broke in the end, and you get that happy ending. But that is not a happy ending. So that's kind of like what that's why I picked this one, just to stay in that same playing field, what we've been talking about. Because like you see him like just like woo, very happy, and obviously in the end, like you as an audience member, you go like, oh, he probably just got arrested and he's in like an insane asylum.
Right.
This didn't happen. Like, he's just fucking crazy, and
just fully gonna like lean into his delusion.
Yeah. So that's my pick. Any honorable mention, guys? I have a few.
Yeah, I got two. I think it's the original. I'm just calling it the original. The ending to The Descent. Another one of those dark ones, and that one just because. Yeah, you don't see her die, but like she's there, even though she overcame her grief, which is like happy in itself. She's
just like alone in the pit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the version like I own and always watch. I think that's the director's cut. What they release in theaters is she escapes, and they made a shitty sequel where they bring her back. Don't worry about that.
The sequel was okay. It's fine.
I shouldn't call it shitty. It's more shitty. It's more of just a horror.
It's unnecessary, movie. But if you like the first one, then like they do bring back Juno and stuff, which is cool.
It's
like
a horror
there's a
little more to it.
The
second one.
Yeah. I don't hate the sequel.
Okay.
But it doesn't make any sense if you watch the director's cut. So and that's the one I own too.
you could find that sequel pre-show, Brian. I'm sure at that DVD shop that has just a bunch of releases. You can find that sequel there. And then a shameless plug: the '78 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, an episode of Fear with Lon Harris. We talked about just really. Iconic, haunting ending of a just pointing and making that screech. If you want to watch a kid's version of it, SpongeBob did a parody.
And also, keeping with Donald has another fucked up ending in Don't Look Now. That's a fucking super sad ending.
That's a fucking boring ass piece of shit of a movie. That movie was trash. I sat through that whole movie, and then the big climax is an old lady in a red raincoat turns around. That's it. That's how the movie ends. I'm like,
wow, I still have to see that one. It was on my list. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. It's a good movie, Joe.
Don't have to see
Watch it. Watch it, Joe. You may have good taste.
Where Peter taped over Blockbuster tapes, and it was Citizen Kane, and he was like,
it was a sled.
There, I saved you 2 hours.
Here. He's sad about his dead kid, and then a dwarf in a raincoat stabs him. The end. I get it. You're done.
That's a good movie. I have honorable mentions. Burn After Reading.
Yeah.
That movie is like very quirky, very weird, very what the fuck is happening, and
As far
suddenly
as I'm actually mad, I don't think the Burn After Reading ending is dark enough because Frances McDormand gets to walk away unscathed, and I think something bad should have happened to her.
Fair enough, but you don't see the Brad Pitt coming, and then the way that J.K. Simmons just goes like, "What did we learn?" And they're like, "Nothing," and they're like, "All right, whatever."
Yeah, it's just another. It's just like just a
they
fucked up thing that
sold-
happened. Like,
Yeah, it's just whatever. Who gives a fuck?
An
Just life
unsuspecting preteen, they sold that movie as like, celebrities, fun, comedy. Me going to see that really helped develop some humor because I was like, this is not what I was going to go see, but I wasn't
Yeah,
like,
it's a very like.
I wasn't like, oh, the Coen Brothers. I know what to
Does
expect.
the
but it's
movie,
probably 12, 13
Yeah. Does the movie Life count?
with Eddie Murphy and Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
What would you do if your son was at home, crying all alone in the bedroom? No, the one with the fucking spaceship.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
I love that
I
one.
mean, but
I
you
remember
kind
that.
of go into horror expecting a bleak ending, though.
No,
Yeah, there's
but
a lot of. If you get into horror, yeah, you could really start to.
that is TJ. That's a good one though. That's one of the better
No.
Alien knockoffs.
How about the original
I agree.
ending of Clerks, where Dante gets shot?
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's like that was the big like, I mean, obviously a smart idea, but like, imagine the whole movie of Clerks. You're all familiar with it, and then at the very end,
He
guy
dies.
comes in and shoots
Rob the
Dante, and the last shot of the movie is him like slumped over on the, and like it fades to black, and then instead of a like peppy song, or it ends with it's like quiet cash. Very weird.
Oh, that would.
Then
be
we wouldn't be
a
having
fucking
this
horror
shitty
movie.
new movie that's coming out. The other one that I picked was Sorry to Bother You. I think
Oh, I
everybody's
love
seen this
that
movie
movie.
here.
Yeah.
But that one falls more in line with the tonal shift, like the
Sorry to
movies,
bother you.
It's
the one that ends with the horse people.
It's with the Lakeith.
Stanfield.
Oh,
Lakeith
okay, yeah, okay.
Stanfield,
I knew,
Boots
yeah, I
Riley.
knew the name sounded familiar. I guess I did see that. Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
was like,
a huge.
I couldn't, but I couldn't.
That's
Yeah,
a huge tonal shift out of nowhere. Like you just take a huge left turn in that movie.
Horse dick dot JPEG.
Yeah.
MPEG.
And I think that's it for my honorable mentions.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get dinosaur.
Horses, dinosaurs.
We're ready to talk about Carnosaur.
TJ, set this shit up.
Are you guys really ready to talk about Carnosaur?
I guess.
Always.
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
So, I mean, I don't know what my last pick was. I figured I'd go back to the normal TJ bullshit that I've done with these guys 1,000 times over. This time, I honestly really regret it.
I did it.
This one hurt. I wanted to watch it with the lady, couldn't make her watch it because I started and I was like, this is just bad. Roger Corman, right?
Produced, yeah.
Yeah, produced,
Oh,
yeah.
man. Watching this as a kid, I thought it was just like a dinosaur gets out of a scientific facility and terrorizes a small town. No. This is
I think you picked Tales of the Crypt, right? Was that you?
Yeah.
I think that was your last one. I think that
this
was.
There's so much weird. Like, why is this movie so many things? Like, why is it trying to be an outbreak movie and a dinosaur attack movie?
That's what bothered me. For such a small budget movie too. It has so many different locations and subplots and what the fuck. But I do want to compliment this. The Diane Ladd, her layer with the fucking fan that every one of those places have to make it look, the background. So by the way, she sounds just like Sigourney Weaver. I wasn't paying attention for a minute, and her voice.
It's wild that she plays Clark Griswold's mom in Christmas Vacation, but that's like 3 or 4 years before this.
She's also
this.
Coincidentally,
that's where she's from.
She's also Laura Dern's mother.
Real mom, yeah.
Yeah, real mother. And Laura Dern's movie, Jurassic Park, is released a month later.
And the one blonde is from Ghostbusters, who's the one that Peter Venkman tries to trap. And he's like, what am I holding? Like 3 stars. He's like,
Brian.
Brian,
you probably know this one. Where's the bald dude with the gap teeth from?
It's Ron Howard's brother.
Oh yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
Clint
Clint
Howard.
Howard. Yeah, it's Clint
Yeah,
Howard.
yeah, but like his big movie. I know he has a big movie.
The Ice Cream Man.
Ice Cream Man's his big like horror movie, but I think like he appeared on Star Trek as a kid. That was a big thing for him.
All of Ron Howard's
Funhouse
movies.
Massacre. He's in Funhouse Massacre.
He's in all of Ron Howard's movies too.
So TJ,
Yeah, he always
movie
pops
up.
up in Ron Howard movies for sure.
This
Powers
movie's
as
basically
the,
like a poultry plant, which they make that known. It's a poultry plant, not a poultry farm, not a poultry like whatever you would use for actual to make sense in making chicken, but a poultry plant.
Well, they're a plant
supposedly
because
doing
they're owned by the parent company Eunice, which is not the name of a tech company, but the name of like Carol Burnett's character on Mama's Family. They kept showing that is just an old lady name. What the fuck? You don't call your company Eunice.
And there's like chickens that give birth to a dinosaur, and this one dinosaur runs amok, but also so the whole movie they're like showing people like sneeze and cough into the hands and shake hands with other people, and it's like,
well, I did like that every time they showed a location, they would tell you the viral load in the area would be like 10%. I was like, that little detail was interesting because it kept me like by the time they revealed what was going on with the virus, I kept looking. I was like, what the fuck is that? What are they doing? What is that? I was like, is that going to be one of those things that's just techno mumble jumbo and it's never explained? It's just like trying to make it feel like a real movie, but no, it was actually it existed for a reason. So
and there's like there's a company that is doing digging onto a certain plane. There's people that want to stop that digging, that protest it essentially, but
yeah, like some hippies kind of.
Yeah,
I find it hilarious that she like chained herself to the thing, but didn't have the keys. She was just like fucked. She was like,
I love that all the hippies chained themselves to tractors and got eaten by a dinosaur because they couldn't move. They couldn't get away.
This is not a good
circle.
movie.
Can I finish the Clint Howard? Like
Yeah,
he has 255 acting credits, so he's from everything.
That's why he's the Yusuf. Maybe you would Austin Powers, the guy who does the Big Johnson bit.
Yeah, he's the guy in the.
Yeah,
the radar.
He's doing the parody of because he was also in Apollo 13.
Yeah, he was the same act. Yeah,
he's actually because he's Ron Howard's brother.
Yep.
Yeah. He's in the Grinch.
Like
I'm good. I'm good.
Beans and the gravy and the mashed potatoes actually looks pretty good.
Nothing in this looked good.
This movie is like a small dinosaur starts off and then it grows bigger the more it eats, but also there's a virus. And then
I was gonna say I had trouble keeping track of how many dinosaurs there were. Too,
Yeah,
there's the small one that gets loose and is growing. Plus, there's a big one already in captivity, and then we see the birth of at least like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, Rosemary,
including the one that bursts out of Diane Ladd.
Yep.
There's a few alien moment ripoff, but like I found it funny that they couldn't keep like scale at all in this movie because like when they were. Like when you see the puppet of the dinosaur like fully, like he's maybe like me, and then when he's like attacking something, he looks like a pool noodles at like. It was so bad. It was. So
I was gonna say they had that one scene where the dinosaur sits outside the thing. The guy's like, "Peace, green thing," and then starts eating him, but his hand is bigger than his entire body. But him is like he looks like he's 3 foot tall, and then later the girl like where he eats her when she's locked up. That's like one of the ones where I'm like, how big is it at this point?
Yeah.
But I have to say,
one that's already big, and then you got one that's supposed to be continually growing, but like, they can't keep it straight.
I feel like
I did like Diane Ladd's plan of. Her whole thing was like she was practicing on the reason it comes out of the chickens because like she's practicing on chickens to perfect her formula where she's gonna infect all the women on the planet to give birth to a dinosaur that will kill them as they give birth to it. There will be no more women, so then all the men will die out, and then the world will go back to the dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's her ironclad. It's ironclad.
Yeah, that's her plan. That's Diane Ladd.
It's like I said in the beginning, I passed out 3 times in this movie. So
I love.
maybe I missed something.
I sent these guys a video.
It's easy to miss it because like when you're watching a bad movie like that, they're not always good at like stringing together the right scenes to like let you know it'll help you keep track of what's happening. Kind of.
Honestly, Gene Siskel help let me understand that summary Brian just said, because it's exactly so they reviewed it, which is hysterical, and he gave it a half thumbs up, and
he got 1 thumb up.
Yeah.
And don't you believe? And you better believe that shit was on the front of the VHS, along with one. I love the quote on the front of the VHS that said something about like, "This is real dino action. This ain't just a walk in the park." I was like, "You're really gonna take a swipe at Jurassic Park on the front of the Carnosaur VHS?"
That's a bold decision.
Fun fact about that in general is they knew what Jurassic Park was coming out, right? The big fucking movie. Corman.
Roger Corman's whole deal. He's like an asylum guy.
He wanted.
They try to pump out a movie at the same time or right before a big.
He wanted to release the same day as Jurassic Park. Like Jurassic Park was a rarity back then too. Like I think it was the only movie like out that weekend Jurassic Park came out, and like that was like people didn't like play. I think the box office like that.
Yeah. No, it wasn't as big of a deal then.
But they did like I don't think anything released. Carnosaur did that. But then they got bumped like a month prior. So wild they even got box office.
Can we talk about real quick, because
like someone sat in a movie theater and watched this shit.
I cannot believe this got a theatrical release. That's bananas to me.
This has to be the most.
I always thought this was straight to VHS.
This has to be the most frugal movie ever made, because I probably saw the same severed hand 30 times used in this entire.
Also, I love how many times he has to take that girl back to his trailer. Like that's like he must do that like 4. He must like bring her in and lay her on his bed like 4 different times. I was like, I know this inside of this trailer is like their #1 set that they use. It's got more play than Diane Ladd's Lab.
So what's
there's something to be said. I've learned a lot since my entire 33 years of life watching movies, but especially in this podcast, that I've learned a lot about like weird movies and good movies and bad movies and whatever. But there's something to be said about, specific decisions made while filming that really elevate a movie in my eyes to be like memorable. And I'll never forget the blueberry pie scene. Like, this is a huge ass table, and the dude is feeding the senator.
There's like several Seinfeld actors in Carnosaur, by the way.
He's like sitting, like laying down on the table, just watching the senator eat blueberry pie. And I'm like watching the scene. I'm like, this is like madness. Like somebody.
He looks like Yusef in our opening with his feet kicked up on the bed. Like that's what he looks like.
Exactly like that. And then when the secretary walks in, he's like, "Oh, I have news." He like has to like scurry out of the table because the table is so fucking big. He can't just get out of the table.
Oh,
that scene is like the best moment of the entire movie. I like love that scene with all my heart. Like
my favorite part is the
specific scene. Go ahead.
I love the T-Rex bumping its head to get out of the silo. Like it's one like scene where like you finally get this climax of a T-Rex. You get him chasing, which is the worst lead fucking hero.
Oh, the actor guy, yeah. That's the one thing I like about the dark ending is that you get to see that dude get murdered.
Yes. And they
I was like, they let this guy be our action hero, then he gets a machine gun and you're like, fuck yeah.
Mind you, this movie's an hour and 22 minutes, right?
It feels like 3.
This is like a horror movie.
Especially for me that I took a nap. It was like 6 hours.
Yeah, so the second one it gets a little bit crazier. There's raptors and a T-Rex. So there's 2 raptors and a T-Rex. In the second
wait. Was the tiny one not a raptor? Was a T-Rex?
No, I think it was a baby T-Rex.
Yeah, it's a baby T-Rex.
Oh.
Yeah. So they do that whole thing with that, but the next one has raptors in it. But then you have the character with the black sheriff, where they shove the big raptor toe through his chest. So there's kind of like a weird I don't know. Who the fuck
That
knows?
was a good death scene, though.
Yeah.
I like that death scene.
Well,
Oh,
he's
this movie had some
figures
good
it out.
gore.
Good death scenes. Good death.
It had
scenes.
some
Yeah.
fun gore, and like I said, I am kind of a sucker for like a bad puppet. It was fun. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking as I was watching. I was like, honestly, I've seen way worse low budget movies than this.
Oh,
like,
I have a.
This is kind of like it kind of like is a very cookie cutter low budget movie, as in, you know, you can see where they're saving money and like when they're using their money.
So on the
Camera angles.
on the point of enjoyability for me,
Oh,
power
I think Brian
rankings
went away.
of bad dinosaur movies, or like this camp, I think it has to go friend of the show, Velocipaster, Tammy and the T-Rex, and then Carnosaur. Like they all have like that's a good triple feature of bad puppet dinosaur plot movies.
But I think I cut out. But I think I was saying.
Yeah,
my
you cut
point
out for the
was,
whole
This
thing.
doesn't reach that level. I don't think this one's on the level of Tammy and the T-Rex. This one's kind of more just kind of boring and banal.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a regular low budget movie. You know,
It really builds itself on having like the gore aspect of it, but then like even the gore, like instead of it being like when you get like guts ripped out, it's like a black tar like look. to it,
Yeah,
like classic.
the autopsy scene.
Yeah,
The autopsy scene really made me want barbecue. Like it looked like pulled pork. Like I legit got hungry.
Yeah.
Burn ends.
Oh, it's good brisket.
Yeah, good brisket, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good brisket places around.
Some-
I was
some
like,
por-
damn, I kind of want brisket now.
But like
Some poor man's burn ends.
we'll talk about like Joe with this one, like Prehysteria, which doesn't make any sense. It stars the kid from My Girl 2, but has like dinosaur, like Stan Winston ish, like, you know, puppets to it. But like this movie, the puppet, when I was a kid, loved it. This one does not hold up. Yeah.
I did like when it ripped the one girl's leg off. It was like,
It's like gnawing on it. But also it's cool because I'm like, James Gunn gets that with like the shark eating the fucking head. And I'm like,
yeah.
I get it. You know what I
He
mean?
started, and James Gunn started in Trauma, which is basically Roger Corman adjacent.
Yeah. Wait, did he do
Yeah,
Captain
absolutely.
America? Is that what he did too? Or was it
No.
Fantastic Four?
No. Roger Corman does more. Oh, you know,
Oh,
he might have
Fantastic Four.
produced the
Corman.
old Captain America. You're right. Yeah, he
He
might
did?
have.
I thought he just did that unproduced Fantastic Fours and they held on.
Definitely, he did the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
sure.
think that was it.
I think that's all. I think the Captain America was just like, Menahem and Golan canon films, possibly.
God,
I think
wish
he's
they
famous for the Death Race stuff, right?
Yeah,
the original
that's
and the
the-
remake and all
And
that
then
stuff.
we were
I wish
talking.
the new Avengers movies would have had Captain America pretend to get sick so he could steal somebody's car just
We were-
one time.
and the Howling.
So funny.
And Corman
Are
did the
you
Howling.
know what it is?
Shopping Mall. That's a really fun one if you're looking.
Shopping Mall is so much fun.
But the other one that surprised me, as I mentioned the guys in the chat today, is Roger Corman also produced one of Scorsese's first movies, which is Boxcar Bertha, which is just like a trashy serial like murder flick from like the early 70s. It's like right before he does Mean Streets.
And he was also an FBI agent in Silence of the Lambs. Roger Corman.
Oh, was
he
he?
was an actor.
So some really fun stuff, and I mean he's been making movies since the 50s.
Yeah, he's produced. I'm looking at his IMDb, 518 movies. So
Wow.
Yeah.
he's done some shit. Watching this movie, I had like a random thought. Because there's a scene like they were like, "Oh, we gotta call somebody. It's urgent," and then the actor had to like use the dial tone telephone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that used to be so hard as an actor to actually act out all those numbers. And now they go like,
and to make it seem urgent, like
yeah, they're like, yeah. Especially if like if there's a zero in the number, they go like, wow.
It reminds me of Wayne's World 2 when he gets when he gets the phone and he's in the fight with the dad. He's like, So
now
funny.
they just go like speed dial or whatever in their phone, and it is what it is. But yeah, I love that moment.
Call Yusuf.
I feel like anything else, guys?
Just real quick, tap on the dark ending.
Oh yes, let's
Oh yeah,
talk about
just
that.
that. Like, I mean, I mentioned it a
Good
little
call,
bit,
Joe.
but it feels like your big hero. You have your big climax where literally a toy truck fights a puppet.
Yep.
Like the miniatures are not convincing.
That has to be the worst one-liner.
Oh, I hate nature
I hate
or
wildlife.
something. I hate wildlife.
Worst one-liner in history.
Also, what was the deal with that guy? Was he like a doctor who was also a night security guard? What was his old deal?
That's usually how it works in these movies. But Jack
it's Doc. Why? I was expecting like a "What's up, Doc?" like Bugs Bunny thing. Is like, yeah, I'm just Doc. You're like, oh, okay,
okay, all right, I guess. But yeah, like you have your basically like your cliche big fight ending, and they do kill the Carnosaur, and him and the girl like go back to his place, and they're happy, and they call, or they get a radio from the army, and they're like, yes, we can help us, we got it, we killed him, come save us, and the army shows up, and they just machine gun him and his girlfriend, and then blowtorch the whole place.
Yeah,
it's
they
grim,
basically.
like,
I feel like they just stole that ending from the Crazies. From I think it was
like the Crazies.
Or Night of the Living
or
Dead.
81.
They steal from Night of the Living Dead.
Also, Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, I feel like that one, the Crazies stole that from the. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Good call.
But it felt really out of place in this one. It didn't feel like.
Yeah.
It felt like
but like you said, I
was
love
like
that. I honestly
thing,
like it. It kind of saved it for me, and like I was just like, maybe I was like, okay, 2 points. Give him 2 points.
Yeah. That's fair. I can see that.
2 points for them. They went up from. And I'll give them score, but it went up 2 points given the fact that they had the balls to just like, what, fuck it. We have a bad movie. Let's just end it with killing everybody. Fuck it. Everybody dies. The end.
Well, like it really has that feel of like the ending of Clerks, where it's like that edgelord aspect to it. Like our movie's gonna be like dark and badass, and the way we're gonna show that is we're gonna have them get murdered at the end by the army or whatever.
It's actually commentary on how the government doesn't care about the people.
Damn.
Let's go into the ratings phase. TJ, this is what's your pick. I kind of am interested because you seem like very down. I know that you
seem very a little disappointed in yourself with this one.
You're recovering from a sickness and you're tired from work, but you feel like you're a little depressed on your pick.
TJ, I've also been really enjoying your blog updates on your sickness every day, letting us know how you're a fighter.
TJ, like, what's your rating? we're talking to you. You're here?
Oh, I was frozen. Sorry. Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
I think he's frozen again.
Motherfucker. I am not gonna edit anything out. Joe, what's your rating? Well,
my rating is a. So it's not as bad as A No Name Norm. I think that still stands as our number one worst movie ever watched on this show.
That and Sidekicks and Downhill, I think is the other one.
My wife asked me if TJ was gonna name his son Norm, spelled Gnorm.
Oh, you should.
I said Howard Norm.
Oh, that's a good name, TJ. Write it down.
Howard
TJ's
Norm.
out.
TJ's out. He'll be back.
He'll never hear that now because he'll never rewatch the show.
No,
nobody does. I put a lot of editing stuff in, and then nobody comments like, "Hey, Yusef, good job on this section."
All right, man. My rating is a 1.7 Rosemary's Dinosaur Babies.
That's harsh. 1.7.
Brian,
that's a rough one.
That's a rough one.
I could get this up to like a 4. I think it's pretty harmless. It's more boring than like its biggest crime is
that's why
it's boring.
The boring.
But I do enjoy the dumb puppets. I do enjoy the miniatures, and I do think Diane Ladd and her whole plan is just crazy enough to kind of like give it a little boost and give it up to like I could get this to like a 4. But you know what? I think I'm gonna take Joe into consideration and roll it back to like a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I was TJ. While you recovering your connection, I was gonna do 3.5. Honestly, 3.5. Nobody did a cute. Nobody followed the norm of our rating system.
I did.
Yeah, actually, sorry, Joe did, and I didn't. I'll do 3 hippies eating while they're chained to a bulldozer.
Yeah, I'll do 3.5 senators eating a blueberry pie while a business owner stares at them in the eye.
And you find out the blueberries are coated in like some kind of like goat embryo or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
use
I agree with all. Like, this is not like the worst movie we've ever seen, but
No.
the reason why
I can get it to
goes,
a 2.3 if I need to.
yeah, I feel like the reason why it goes down so hard on our scale is like it's boring.
Yeah, it actually needed to be a little bit worse to like get my attention, you know.
Yeah,
that's fair.
You know, the categories. TJ, what's your rating?
I was gonna say a clean 2.3.
Oh, I'm the one that liked it the most. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I fell asleep 3 times.
I almost gave it a 4. To be fair,
I'm more upset that the fact that like when I watched this, I think I remember the second one more than the first one. So like it's 2.3. Watch the second one over the first one, but the lead dude Doc for me fucks everything up because he's not likable. I'm like T.J. Miller.
Yeah. Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
TJ Miller can go fucking off a cliff.
Yes.
All right, so this was fun. I liked it. This was a good
what
episode.
If Dane Cook, but even less funny.
This Dane, at least Dane Cook is like, oh my god, he had to put his brother in jail because he was stealing all his money. So I kind of like him a little bit more now. This was a fun return. 2022. How about what's the second episode, Brian? Where are we going in this adventure of 2022?
Originally, I thought I was going to have the episode for the new year, and I was going to do Strange Days because that's a great New Year's movie. But I have 3 movies. All of these are things that have either been on my list before or have been talked about, like us doing. So I've assigned everybody one. I'm not going to do terrible trivia because I want to finish up. So I just want each one of you to pick a number between 1 and 50, and whoever gets closest to my mental number will win.
23, Michael Jordan.
39.
What was it? What was that, Joe?
39.
39.
Oh,
TJ?
I thought you said 33. Sorry.
No.
19.
19. All right, Joe.
A girl that is too old for Drake.
Joe, you won, and the movie that I assigned to you is one that came up on as for a possible rewatch for all of us a couple weeks ago. We are going to be watching Boondock Saints.
Oh my God! Wow.
Also, you know what? This is not required, but the documentary Overnight is readily available about Troy Duffy.
You, Brian,
and
with your extra assignments.
Hey,
Brian,
I said it's not required.
Hey, Brian,
I said it's not required. You're not,
So glad you picked this because this has come up in conversation.
You might be interested.
This movie has come up in conversation more than it should the last couple of weeks.
I only watched it once.
It's time. I've been avoiding a rewatch of this for a long
first time.
I've been avoiding a rewatch. In my early 20s, I was like, this is a very cool movie. So I will be interested to go back to this one.
I've only watched it once, and I hated it with all my soul.
So I saw it in high school. And I've nodded my head when bros in college would love it. And I go, yeah, great. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah.
TJ, you used to love it. Did you revisit it and you hated it? Or are you still in the love it camp like Brian that doesn't want to revisit it?
I kind of want to leave it so I can pretend it's still good.
I'm gonna say my opinion.
Good.
All right. So next episode, I'm gonna hate it. Just a fun fact. I know that it's gonna happen.
I want you to objectively, I want you to go in with an open mind.
I'm gonna be a film reviewer like I'm always with this movie.
So this guy's a fucking professional.
I'm a professional. Where can the people find you, TJ?
Guys, I'm on Flyover State of Film YouTube right now. Yes, find me on @TJDex on Twitter, talking shit about everything you like. Other than that, Brian, where you at?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I @HerSkillies. You can find me. at the club. Give me a hug. I don't know. That's
Some bottles in the pub.
Mama, what you need and the test to get buzzed. I remember that song. Joe, where you can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter on Trending01, and then you can find me on this channel doing Flyover State of Fear and that Twitter channel, and some really fun stuff lined up for you. I just recorded we have Scream dropping, so you can listen to that now. Child's Play.
It dropped 2 days ago, baby. Go watch
2 days ago. Child's Play should be out soon. And then Urban Legends will be being recorded tomorrow, which will probably be out.
And I'm calling dibs. I'm
late
calling
January.
Also, you can watch our episode about Urban Legends that we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could then that episode would probably be out in February or late February. And watch our.
I bet we'll call Rebecca Gayheart a murderer on his episode than on ours.
I'm gonna, you know what? I will go listen to our old episode, which I fear I'm doing.
Fun fact: if you put a lot of lotion on your feet and then you put socks on it, it's almost like a pedicure. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I thought he was gonna say fun fact: Rebecca Gayheart did kill someone.